Hey everyone, this is Julien, and today I am playing Red Faction Guerilla, the Re-MARStered edition, which sounds really silly to say, Re-MARStered. They thought that was a good idea. It makes sense, I guess. We are on Mars, but nonetheless, kind of silly to say out loud. I've been saying it since this was announced every now and then, Re-MARStered. It kind of gets stuck in your head. It sounds like you want to say mustard. But anyway, here we are. So this is the Re-MARStered edition. This game, I can't remember the exact year it came out, but I played this on the Xbox 360. So I want to say maybe something like 2010. That could be off, maybe 2009. It was the first entrance. It was my first Red Faction game. I think there had been a few before that were on PS2 and maybe even before then. I was unfamiliar with the series up until I played this, and even playing this, I'm still unfamiliar with the series as a whole. I think the story is usually the same. You play as usually a mercenary of some sort or a rebel. Usually you're in a rebellious atmosphere in which you are rebelling against an oppressive military or government body. In the case of Red Faction Guerilla, you are on Mars in the distant future, and you are rebelling against a organization called the EDF, which I can't remember what that stands for. Was it Earth Defense Force? That might be it. It could be something else entirely. So it's been a while since I played this game. And how do I get out of this car? There we go. So it is an open world third-person game. It has a very similar structure to games like something like Saints Row or GTA, in which you have a large open world map like I do here. I can pull out. You can see that this is all area I haven't been to. I'm in the beginning of the game, so I'm in the first starting area, which is Parker. And similar to a game like Saints Row, which I mentioned, you can, throughout exploring these areas, you can destroy military compounds, do missions, side quests, things of that nature, and it raises your the level in which you control that territory. So what you want to do is, get all territories maxed out or close to maxed out with control and get the government out of it. So a thing that sets Red Faction Guerilla apart from a lot of other games in this genre, in this like open sandbox world genre, is that Red Faction, at least in this entry, I don't know if it was as prominent in the games before, but in this entry, the destruction of the environment and the objects in the environment is really well. You know what? I'll actually just show you what it's like. So here we have what look like Mars windmills. I don't think they have wind on Mars. Well, the clouds are moving, so I guess they do have strong wind in this area. I know we've terraformed Mars. Obviously, I'm breathing without any sort of gear. It looks like we have some natural Mars wind. But anyway, the destruction in this game is detailed at a pretty high level. And this is an older game now. And we've seen destruction magnified more than this, but you can see that objects in the environment break apart into many, many pieces. And some objects, when you break them apart, you can get salvage, and then you can use that salvage to upgrade your weapons, your characters, the weapons your character carries. So anyway, what I've done is I've done a few missions so far in the game, but I'm going to run over here to, I think this is an EDF base shown on the map by these blue symbols. And it's a destruction target, so if we destroy this, we're going to get 80 control, which is, I think, shown here on the left. Or maybe it's here on the right. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and run in there and start blowing stuff up. So this is on PC. It's on Xbox and PS4 as well. Would have been cool to see it on Switch, but then again, I mean, I asked for everything on Switch, as does everyone. It's kind of a meme at this point. But the gunplay in this pretty standard, nothing to write home about. What is the drawing point for sure, and what is of note is the destruction of the environment, which is just great. You can see I'm picking up salvage here. Let's kill this guy. Hello, sir. And not very smart to peek out like that. I am a bullet sponge. I can take a lot of damage before I die. Although you definitely do not want to be crushed, because if you get crushed by things, I found that it's a pretty quick ticket to death. So right now, my main tool for bringing down these structures is these remote bombs, but I also have the sledgehammer as a backup. But let's clear this out and then put the remote bombs on the silo here, or whatever this is. Lovely black smoke. Terraforming Mars, is that creating the atmosphere? That okay, so he's feeling like he needs to burst through the platform there. I support that. So as you can see, AI not the best in this game. But let's start blowing this stuff up. So I've upgraded. I can throw 4 of these now. When you start, you can only throw 2 at a time. I'm already down to 12, so if I'm throwing 4 each time, it's going to go pretty quick. Okay, lovely collapse there. View the destruction in all its glory. Absolutely beautiful. It reminds me so much of the destruction in something like a Battlefield game. And I know some Battlefield games have worked away from that, which is a shame, but I think in the new one coming out, Battlefield 5, they're having a return to form of sorts. At least that's what they were saying. I'm not sure if they're going to meet those demands. Okay. And we'll throw this into the earth. Done. Okay, and now we just have to take out the large building, and we have 8 of our remote explosives left. Hopefully that should be enough to tear it down. And if I need to, I can hammer it. And it looks like I might have some rebels joining me. They've shown up. I think that if you cause enough destruction and chaos, they will show up to help out, which is very nice of them. Like salvage, salvage, salvage. And we continue. So this game really makes you consider how structures are built and where the foundations are, because obviously you want to place these as effectively as possible, not go totally willy-nilly with it. Why are they running into that building? It's bad for them. Okay. And is that enough? We may need to sledge some of these supporting beams out. There we go. There it goes. And you would think that that would give me a lot more of the salvage, but it does not. So I'm just firing into the smoke here. And the reinforcements. And I am almost dead. There are more guys than I thought there were. As you can see, down in the left near the mini-map, there is a indicator. It's blinking red right now. That is sort of like your wanted meter. Or not sort of, it is your wanted meter. Red, blinking red is obviously the highest it gets. I think there's a yellow, and then green is neutral. You are not being hunted by the military or EDF forces. Stock up on our salvage here. Get some more ammo. Need our machine gun out. One of the things I'm curious about, which it's been a long time since I played this game, as I said, but one of the things I'm curious about is how much variance there was, or there is in this game with the weapons. Because I know that you can upgrade and get more weapons. I just was wondering how deep that was, because I've played a couple hours of the game so far, maybe only about an hour and a half, and I've so far only had the pistol and this assault rifle, and I haven't noticed any of the enemies with other guns besides those. So I've been trying to remember what else in terms of standard firearm are in the game. I know that there's an arc welder, which I can get upgrade to get pretty soon, which shoots bolts of electricity. And jack this car here and get out of here. I remember there's rocket launchers, maybe a homing rocket launcher, perhaps like a bolt cannon, or God, what's it called? The name of it. Okay, moving on. Yeah, I just been trying to remember, because there was a follow-up to this game called Red Faction Armageddon. I think it came out 2 years or so after this, and I was really excited for that because the destruction in this game was so much fun that I was excited for another game to expand on that. Because when this game came out, there really wasn't a lot of games on console that were allowing for this level of destruction. And sure, the environment is very drab, it's very orange and dusty. It doesn't leave much to the imagination, which allows them to do more with the buildings and the structures. Having such a plain environment, don't have to dedicate enough or too much disk space to rendering a detailed background, detailed environment. But anyway, yeah, they had a follow-up to this game called Armageddon, and they made a lot of changes to it, which turned out to be to its detriment, because it was some sort of like tie-in game with a sci-fi show, or I think it was like produced by the Sci-Fi Channel, which is really weird. And the Sci-Fi Channel is known for producing, and most of the stuff that they are involved with is kind of B grade and not the best quality. They've had some hits for sure, but more misses, I would think, and I think most people agree with that. That the stuff that they produce is not the highest quality. But anyway, so they had this follow-up Armageddon, and it turned out to be a pretty big disappointment critically, commercially. It was a non-open world, so it was a linear game. The destruction was there, but because it was linear, you were confined to just levels, basically, and kind of like one-off moments, as opposed to being able to drive anywhere around the map you wanted and blow up buildings and stuff at your leisure. You were doing it during missions. So if you wanted to like replay a scene, you would need to or redo an area where they had lots of cool stuff to blow up. You would need to redo that mission, which really sucks. I will say though that game had a really cool power suit of armor that you would wear in certain missions, that you would just like kind of walk through walls, essentially, like they would just collapse around you. It made you feel super powerful, and that was really effective. That's one thing I wish was in this game. And the last thing I want to say, and we'll wrap it up, this is going to be a quick video, quick look at this game. The last thing I want to say, that maybe you guys can let me know in the comments, but I'm curious as to if the buildings in this environment throughout Mars, if they regenerate, like after you destroy them, or once they're destroyed, they're always going to remain destroyed. And I'm talking about across the whole map. Like if I was to blow up this structure here, which is meaningless, I mean, it doesn't have any significance to the plot of the game, it's just part of this area where I hang out with my rebel friends. If I was to blow this up and come back 5 hours into the game after I've explored further territory, if I was to come back, would this be built again? I don't remember, and I haven't played enough to realize that yet. So let me know in the comments if that is the case, because I'm interested to know. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this is just a quick video on Guerilla. What is this fucking game called? Red Faction Guerilla Re-MARStered Edition. I'll be playing it. There's a lot of other stuff I want to play right now. Octopath Traveler's coming out on Friday, and I'll be playing that. We'll have content about that up on the site and on the channel, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be on Mars, staring into the sun until I go blind.